Hey, what's up everybody? Rich Gaming Guy here. So I just learned that the latest update for Batocera version 38, now officially supports the use of Namco's GunCon 3 light gun controllers, which were originally used for the PlayStation 3 console for titles like Time Crisis 4. So I went out on eBay and I picked up exactly that. Right here in this box, I've got a GunCon 3. This comes complete with two sensors, which connect via USB connection. And it also came with the Time Crisis 4 game, which I don't need today because we're going to be diving into Batocera. But we're going to unbox this, and we're going to actually test this out to see if it is truly plug and play and how it actually sets up and performs on Batocera 38. So let's go ahead and unbox this today, see what we got here. Now, I got this off of eBay again, and I paid, I believe, I got it, let me see. I'll show it to you guys. I'll show you guys the screenshot on screen right now, but just over $91. So $91.94, which is definitely not cheap by any means, but given the fact that light gun controllers these days are going for quite a bit of money, think about the Sinden light gun, for example. You're going to spend easily more than $91 just on that. This one came, with the sensors needed, and I assume we need the sensors here as well. I'm not entirely sure. I know you can get the light gun here without sensors much cheaper on eBay or different secondhand outlets out there. But this also came with a complete copy of Time Crisis 4. So, at the end of the day, I'll probably end up selling the game because I don't need it. I don't have a PS3 anymore, but certainly a viable option for light gun gamers out there. So here I think everything is in there. Let's see. All right. Looks like everything is inside this Ziploc bag. Open it up. Was packaged very nicely. So we've got a Ziploc of what looks to be the sensors. Now, I've never actually used this for the original PlayStation 3 console, so I'm not familiar with it. I am, however, very familiar with the GunCon 2, which was used on PS2. So here's the gun itself. Now, this unique design is not just the light gun. We actually have this side handle here, which also has, right here, an analog stick on it. And then in the back side of the barrel, we also have another analog stick. So we still have dual analog sticks on here. So I imagine that helps us to navigate for certain titles. Since, some light gun games, it kind of navigates you to different scenes and then you just shoot within that scene. Other light gun games, you have to actually navigate your character as well as shooting around. So we also have some additional buttons. We have what looks like a shoulder and trigger button here in the front, which is labeled A1 and A2 right in front of that little grip there. Analog stick again on top. We have a C1 and C2 inside of the barrel. That's on the left-hand side. And then back here, we have that analog stick. We also have what's labeled as B1 and B2, which are two buttons directly below that. So interesting that this is designed clearly for right-handed gamers. Now, I'm right-handed, so this works out, but I'm interested, do they have left-handed versions of this? Because obviously, if I'm left-handed, this is my dominant hand. My other hand would go onto that, and this is obviously on the wrong side. So they must have had, and these aren't reversible. Everything is, stationed exactly where it would be on here. They must have made left-handed versions of this, which is interesting. It would have been probably more cost-effective for them if they could somehow reverse this or bring it around to the other side. But definitely interesting. I'll have to look into that. Just something I'm noticing here. But this copy is actually pristine condition. There's not a ding on here, not a blemish anywhere. It's super clean. No issues whatsoever. Even the end down here where the lens is, or sensor, looks perfect. So USB connection on this. So certainly modern day connection. We're not dealing with adapters or anything like that. Here we have the sensors in here. So we'll go ahead and take these out, see what we've got inside. Now, these I believe are also a USB connection, hopefully just one connection. Yeah, one connection. And I'll have to look up how these were connected because I'm not familiar with this at all. But I believe they go in the top corners of your TV. So you would strap them up, and this seems to be a weight here, so I think you just throw that over the backside. There we go. Yeah, it'll just sit like that. You can see how wherever you leave it is where it stays, because this little end piece here is like a little mini weight inside of a rubber coating there. So definitely looks to be in good shape. There's no blemishes even on the surfaces of these. Just really great condition here. Now, we also have a copy of the game, which we're not going to dive into today. Again, I don't have a PS3 on hand. And those are tough to do captures with as well. So let's take a look at this. just because I'll probably end up selling this. In all honesty, I don't obviously need a game like this since I don't have the console to go along with it, but excellent condition on the back side here. So somebody definitely took care of this extremely well. We also have the game manual over here, which we'll just take a look at the condition of that. Oh, cool. Look at that. I was just saying how I'm going to need to look up how the connections were made. And we have a diagram right there as to how you would set this up. If your PlayStation 3 computer entertainment system does not have 3 or more USB ports, you would likely have to play with 2 players simultaneously. You must purchase a separate USB hub as shown below. All right, so there were different versions of the PS3, but it says this is good for TVs 13 to 50 inches on here. We're going to be testing it with something a little bit bigger. My TV in here is 75 inches. So worst case, I have another TV that I could use that is, I believe, 32, but we're going to be pushing the limit here. But yeah, it looks like those sensors go right up there in the top corner. So pretty straightforward. Let's see how it works with Batocera 38 though. All right, guys, here I've got my GunCon 3 connected via USB connection right here to the front of my PC. And then in the back here, I have another connection. This one right here goes up to my sensors. So I have one located right there, the other one over here. This is a 75-inch screen, so unfortunately I can't get them in the corners. Typically we would want to be closer to that corner and then closer to this corner over here, but it is what it is. You can see up here peeking out, the cable that connects both sensors is only so long, so we can only get that far apart. So we'll see what we end up with in the end.
We'll catch up. Continue with the mission. Who do they think they are? I think we're done over here. More! Cover Shin! HQ, this is an emergency. Bravo needs air support. You men aren't even supposed to be there. What? You trying to get us killed? Pull back! Yeah! They're getting in the way! Take care of the enemies near the civilians. Now! Get out of there! This way! Hurry! The civilians have all been evacuated. Finish off the enemy! The Kraken has seized the attack and is on the move. I'll rendezvous with you as soon as I can. Over. You won't get away with that!
All right, guys, we jumped into Batocera 38 today with our GunCon 3 light gun controller, and we set everything up exactly as we would on an original PS3 console. The sensors were placed, one in the top left corner of the screen, one in the top right corner of the screen, connected into our PC via USB connection, and the light gun controller itself was also connected in through another USB connection. So 2 separate USB connections are used to get this setup up and running, and it is 100% plug and play. Now, I will say this, I have a 75-inch screen TV that I filmed everything on today. I was not able to get the sensors all the way to the top left corner and all the way to the top right corner just because of the cable being a little bit too short between sensor A to sensor B. I did test everything off camera on my 42-inch screen though, and the results were exactly the same. So I didn't find any shortcomings just because I was a few inches short on, both sides of my screen for those sensor placements, but certainly worth mentioning. Now, Everything works as advertised, plug and play, fully compatible. However, it's only compatible with PS3 light gun titles, and there's not a hell of a lot of those. So I think that for that reason, I wouldn't recommend going out of your way to get yourself a GunCon 3 light gun. They are a little bit cheaper than some of the other options out there, but you're going to be severely limited as to what you can actually use them with. I jumped into PS2, I jumped into Dreamcast and Classic Arcade. I was not able to use this setup on any of the light gun games in those collections, which is definitely a bummer. Now, another thing that I will mention is I was able to get into this game today, which is Time Crisis Raising Storm, and I got through it just fine. However, I did find that the on-screen tracking was very sluggish. I wasn't able to move, in real time. I felt like there was definitely a delay when I would try to move left to, aim at somebody over on the left-hand side, and then I'd go back to the right. It definitely tracked very slow. Again, still playable, still a good experience, but not, the quickest response on that sort of gameplay experience. So the fact that it is sluggish, I know it's going to bother some people more than others. I'm not super picky, but this would definitely keep me from going out of my way again to obtain a GunCon 3 for use on Batocera. I just think that there still are some shortcomings here and definitely some limitations as to what we can dive into with it. So it is a little bit cheaper, but factor in the limitations there. I think it's definitely worth it to still go with like a Sinden light gun or some of the other options out there that are, a lot more modern technology, and you don't have to have the sensors as well. You can just get the light gun, aim it at your screen, and you're good to go there. So in the end, it does work, but obviously not as well as we would have hoped to. So let me know what you guys thought of this experience here on Batocera 38 using the GunCon 3 light gun controllers. Let me know in the comment section below. That's going to do it for today, though. If you enjoyed the content, please give me a thumbs up on the video. It's a huge help to me here on YouTube as I try to further grow the channel. And of course, hit subscribe to stay in the loop for all future videos. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me here. I'll see you on the next video.